Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. I am Farwa Sial. I am an external fellow at SASI and I'm a senior teaching fellow at the School of Oriental and African Studies in London. I'm extremely pleased to be hosting this panel on access to global commons. We have some very esteemed guests with us who will be speaking on some very important themes to do with the dynamics of trade and investment between Pakistan and Egypt, especially with regards to petrochemicals and minerals. Since we've managed to live up to the expectations of Pakistan time and Egypt time, I would request the speakers to please keep track of time. So without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Shams Saad, President and Chairman of the Board, Egyptian Petrochemical and Holding Company.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear Dr. Maria Sultan, Chairperson and President of SASI University, dear Honorable and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor to me to be here with you today in such a great event, celebrating together the 70 years of Pakistan-Egyptian diplomatic relation. And due to unforeseen commitment of His Excellency Engineer Tariq Al-Mullah, Minister of Petroleum, it is my pleasure to address His Excellency's speech on behalf of him. I will focus in my speech to give you an overview on Egypt's petrochemical strategic industry. Petrochemical industry plays a vital role in economic growth and the development of manufacturing sectors. The added value in the petrochemical industry is higher than the most of other industry sectors. This is in fact. Today, petrochemical products permeate the entire spectrum of our daily use application and they cover almost every sphere of life like clothing, housing, construction, furniture, automobiles, household items, agriculture, irrigation, packaging, medical appliance, electronics and electrical, and so on. Egypt is following a strategy to maximize the utilization of its available oil and gas resources as feedstock required to produce high added value of petrochemicals products, such as plastic, synthetic rubbers, synthetic fibers, drugs, fertilizer, and detergent. Since the market demand has changed towards specially petrochemical products, Egyptian petrochemical sectors is targeting an ambitious strategy to produce a wide range of different portfolio of high added value specialties to satisfy the local market needs and export the surplus to increase the national income and GDP and to provide foreign currencies to Egypt's economy. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is worth mentioning the petrochemical sector in Egypt owns various incentives to attract new foreign investment, bank and international financial institutions in order to implement profitable petrochemical industries. We can summarize them as follows. Governmental support means land infrastructure, investment incentives, feedstock availability through the recent mega oil and gas discoveries like Zohr, concession, and other. Cost competitiveness advantages through the trade agreement, local manpower, available skilled labor, competitive labor rates, unique geographic location and proximity to major consumers, domestic demand, and increasing growth rate. We have many areas in Egypt We already in petrochemical sectors, we developing now many projects in Alamein, Suez, Damietta, Alexandria, and other regions to develop this region as a strategic plan of our country. I will not repeat my the speakers before, but finally I wish to address my great thanks and appreciation to all attendees, and I wish you all pleasant stay in your second country, Egypt. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Toms. That was really brief. Thank you for that. I wanted to mention that Dishan just forgot to mention our sixth speaker, which is Mr. Sherar Omar, Senior General Manager, Marketing, Pakistan State Oil. Next, we have Mr. Munsif H. Chana, who is the General Manager of Exploration in the Oil and Gas Development Company, OGDCL, Pakistan. Please welcome him.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Distinguished delegates, organizers, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, and have a very good afternoon. First of all, I am thankful to the organizers of the conference who provided us the opportunity to sit together and exchange the ideas to promote the trade with brotherly country, Egypt, and further strengthen the relationship. As this topic of my talk is related to the natural resources, especially the exploration of oil and gas, thus I will be focusing on the topic, and my topic will be mostly related to the OGDCL, that is my organization. As all we know that Pakistan is energy deficit country, where currently the country is importing more than 350,000 of barrel LPG, and still there is a gap of around 2.5 BCF of gas per day. Due to time constraint, I will briefly focus on the topic, and the details will be covered in the upcoming session. There are a lot of opportunities to invest in the oil and gas exploration, as the country has a great potential to produce hydrocarbon. Once the discovery is made, it can immediately be put on the production. In the case of gas discovery, the country has extensive pipeline network which can exhaust the new production, as it is much demanded in the country. Due to this, the rate of return to the international companies is much higher. Apart from the opportunities, Pakistan, OGDC as national flag carrier company is ready to invest in brotherly country Egypt. For this, we are ready first to look into the opportunities to farm in the existing exploration activities with government to government or independent operating companies, or second, to participate in the acquiring new acreage in exploration of hydrocarbon in Egypt. Now I will lead you through a brief presentation showing some facts and figures. Currently, Pakistan is producing a little less than 4 BCF of gas. Historically, we have produced more than 4 BCF of gas for almost 8 years. That is from year 2008 to 2016. These projections also show that by year 2030, in case of no major discovery is made, the country will produce less than 3 BCF of gas. Oil. Nowadays, the country's production is more than 80,000 barrels of the oil. This much production country has seen only 5 years. Again, if no discoveries are made, then the oil production will gradually go down, and by year 2030, it will be around 60,000 barrels per day. As of now, the remaining gas reserves of the country are 20 TCF of gas, which are sufficient for 13 years. And oil reserves are 345 million barrels and are sufficient for 11 years. Country has witnessed only 12 major discoveries, which in terms of volume are more than 1 TCF. And the number of these discoveries is only 12. And these 12 discoveries accounts for 75% of the total gas reserves discovered to date. In these discoveries, the first one was mega discovery at Sui, which was discovered in the early 50s, then Mari, and then Uch, and so on. The last discovery, mega discovery, was made in early 2000s. The same for oil discoveries. First mega discovery was of more than 10 million barrels of oil, was made in 1960s at Mayal. And the last was the Nashpa, which was made in 2010. As far as demand and supply is concerned, currently the demand and supply gas is around 2 BCF. But keeping in view the economic growth, it is expected that this gap will be more than 3 BCF, despite the fact that that country will be importing LNG from the international market. This energy supply demand, this chart shows us that by 2030, the demand will be more than 300 metric tons of oil equivalent energy, and that demand will be tried to meet through different sources that include the gas, the hydro energy, imported oil, gas, coal, local and imported nuclear resources, etc. The purpose of showing this is to highlight the need to invest in the sector. Reasons for investment in Pakistan. As I already explained that we are energy deficit country, gas sales are guaranteed to take. We have high gas demand in the market. We have presence of gas transmission and distribution network. We have higher exploration success ratio in the Pakistan, that is 1:2.7, and as per record, it's one of the best in the world. We have very attractive farming opportunities in the existing and upcoming exploration blocks, massive gas, shale gas and reserves, huge potential of enhanced oil recovery, and huge unexplored hydrocarbon potential in the country. We have very attractive gas prices. Onshore we have 3 zones and maximum gas price is 6.6 MMBTU, and in offshore we have as much as $10 per MMBTU. The country has low BTU policy and tight gas policy, which is offering a very encouraging gas prices to the investors. Once again, OGDCL as national flag carrier E&P company is ready to invest in brotherly country Egypt. For this, we are ready to look into the possibilities to farm in the existing exploration blocks in the country with government to government or international operating companies. And to participate, we can also participate in acquiring new acreage in exploration of hydrocarbon in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Munsif from OGCCL. Next, we have Lieutenant General Ashfaq Ahmed, who is the Managing Director of Mari Gas. Please welcome him.
Thank you for providing me this opportunity to speak to this August gathering. Even if the moderator here had not introduced this panel as oil and gas panel or energy related panel, you could have guessed it, not because all of us sitting here would have had peculiar habits, but because we have peculiar faces, because we work in the field, most of us, and therefore most of us, with a couple of exceptions here, are rugged looking. In my case, it is even worse because I have been 40 years in the military, and then to top it off, I'm working now in the oil and gas sector, so that actually adds to the peculiarity or the ruggedness of the unsavory appearance, call it what you may. What I'll do is very quickly, based the colleague here already from OGDCL has already mentioned what Pakistan has to offer with regard to oil and gas. I'll be strictly talking about a company which I am the chief executive and the managing director of, is the Mari Petroleum Company. And it is one of the leading companies in Pakistan. It is the fastest growing company in Pakistan. And I will mention a few things about this company. We are part of a 4G group. It's a group which is loosely associated with the military, and that group has about 22 or 23 companies, and the energy is one part of that group. And therefore, by virtue of that, we bring to the table, in addition to our efficiency, and in addition to our cost effectiveness, we bring an environment which is more conducive to work with companies from outside. And we are looking for opportunities to work with our Egyptian companies and Egyptian friends. We are a public listed company, a limited company listed on the Pakistan Stock Exchange. We are an integrated E&P company. When I say integrated, we are obviously an upstream company. We do exploration and production. And we are integrated in the sense that we have our own seismic facilities, we have our own rigs, and our success ratio is one of the highest in the world. Yes, you heard me right. Our success ratio with regard to exploration is one of the highest in the world. The company operates Pakistan's largest gas field, having original recoverable reserves of 10.5 TCF, out of which now 5 TCF remain. So we actually are the custodians of the largest gas field currently in Pakistan. The current average gas production in case of Mari Petroleum is 740 million standard cubic feet of gas per day, and our oil production is not too much, but is about 2,000 barrels per day, but out of 80,000 barrels which Pakistan totally produces, 2,000 is done by Mari Petroleum. We are also responsible for providing gas to our fertilizer industry. 80% of the gas being provided to fertilizer industry in Pakistan is provided by Mari. And our portfolio obviously includes several operated and non-operated exploration licenses and so on and so forth, and we work across the country in Pakistan. Our exploration success ratio, as I said, is 70%. Next, please. We are currently joint venture partners with Premier Oil, MOL, which is a Hungarian company, Tullow, which is a British company, Spud, PPL and OGDCL, the last two Pakistani companies, and we have also worked with Total, OMV, and ENI in the past. MPCL has the lowest operational and production cost at the rate of $2.65 per barrel of oil equivalent. So this is the most efficient in contrast to some of the other companies working in Pakistan. We are now nearly $1 billion company. We had set ourselves a target goal of to get to $1 billion gross sales this year, but unfortunately because of the devaluation of the rupee against the dollar, we missed that, but we would still like to say that we are nearly $1 billion company, and we are the safest company in terms of health, safety, and environment standards, with total recordable case frequency of 0.11%. What we are looking at is our business expansion plan is that we want to expand through farm-in and bidding, and we are pursuing international E&P asset acquisition through farm-in as well as joint bidding. Investment in midstream, downstream, as well as diversification opportunities. We are going into power generation. We have low BTU gas, and because low BTU gas, as those of you are aware with the energy market, there's a capital cost involved if you want to bring it to a level of a spec gas or a sweet gas. So therefore, the best utilization is for it to be used in power generation, and that is exactly what we are doing now. And this is the last slide. You will be happy to note that with regard to the priority regions that we have set for ourselves, Africa stands out. We are looking at other countries, but obviously Egypt, considering that Egypt has lately done so well with regard to exploration and production. So we are hoping that we can farm in and acquire working interest in an exploration acreage, acquire a producing asset with an upside exploration potential, and we can also offer you also a joint bidding with a reputable E&P company. What we are suggesting is that one of the models that can be followed is that while we try to farm in here with interested parties, you could farm in with Mari Petroleum in Pakistan, and thereafter work together, which will actually be mutually beneficial for the companies here as well as Mari Petroleum and other companies in Pakistan. So that concludes my briefing. Thank you very much for your attention and time, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Lieutenant General Nadeem, for your speech and for clarifying the details of this panel. I actually missed seeing any of these panelists looking rugged. I don't think these gentlemen looked rugged at all, actually. So next we have Dr. Ahmed Saleh. He is the Vice Chairman of Egyptian Natural Gas Holding. Please welcome him.
Presentation, please. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nader Labib. I am General Manager for Area Promotion at the Egyptian Natural Gas Holding Company. This company is an entity working under the umbrella of the Egyptian Ministry of Petroleum and Mineral Resources. Now I'm going to give you an overview on Egypt as an energy hub. In the next few slides, I will go through the following points of the agenda. The oil and gas sector modernization project, Egypt's opportunities as a potential energy hub, oil and gas infrastructure, oil and gas hub program, regional integration, and investment opportunities. The petroleum sector modernization project, His Excellency Engineer Tariq Al-Mullah, Egypt's Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources, has adopted an ambitious plan to modernize the petroleum sector because of its vital role in the economic growth of Egypt, and to be a role model for the other sectors to be replicated in Egypt. The modernization project is based on two phases. Phase one is the diagnostic and goal setting, and the phase two is the detailed plan and the implementation. The modernization program is based on 7 pillars. One of them is the energy hub, or transforming Egypt to an energy hub serving the region of the Eastern Mediterranean. These pillars include investment attraction, sector structural reform, people agenda, downstream performance, upstream performance, the energy hub, decision support, and data flow. Egypt has a very unique geographic location in the crossroads between Africa, Asia, and Europe, which with long history of oil and gas production, well-established infrastructure, and political stability. Such elements are essential for transforming Egypt to an energy hub serving the region. This map shows the country has a well-established infrastructure, as we have 12 ports on the Red Sea for oil. These are oil ports, and 7 ports on the Mediterranean coast. Another map showing approximately 9,500 kilometers of crude oil and products pipeline. It's a huge infrastructure across Egypt. One of them is the Summit pipeline, which forms an alternative to the Suez Canal for transporting oil from the Ain al-Sukhna on the Suez, Gulf of Suez, to the Sidi Krair terminal on the Mediterranean coast. One map again showing the layout of the transmission pipelines. It's approximately 7,500 kilometers, as well as a distribution pipelines in the order of magnitude of about 38,000 line kilometers. As a continuation to the well-established infrastructure in Egypt, for gas infrastructure, we are having 29 gas treatment facilities, 2 floating storage regasification units, and 2 liquefaction plants, one in Edco and the other in Damietta on the Mediterranean sea coast. Also, for the oil infrastructure, we are having 8 refineries with a capacity of 38 million tons per year design capacity, and 14.5 million ton crude oil and product storage capacity. The energy hub has 2 main elements, the gas hub and the oil hub. For the gas hub, there is a short-term plan that Egypt will capitalize on the existing infrastructure in the country. And for the medium-term plan, the aim is to attract investment to accommodate the regional gases aiming to play a significant role in the international market. For the long-term plan, Egypt market will be one of the key strengths in the hub creation, supported by concurrent regulatory reforms. Regarding the oil hub, Egypt is qualified to play a major role in the region because of its geographic location. The attractive investment opportunities in infrastructure development for new ports and storage facilities will be supported by the political will. Egypt aims to revive the trading role in the bunkering activities and the liquid products. The expected regional benefits from transforming Egypt to an energy hub will include sustain the regional stratigraphic goal of energy supply diversification by providing an alternate supply route and source, promote regional cooperation and economic development, thus enhancing geopolitical stability in the Eastern Mediterranean, attaining energy security in the region, improve the investment climate, and sustain the economic worthiness from existing infrastructure. The investment opportunities attached to transforming Egypt to an energy hub includes underground gas storage for balancing the gas transmission network, verify need of LNG storage for balancing the gas transmission network onshore and offshore, to consider the development of the future pipeline from East Mediterranean to the Egyptian LNG facilities, upgrading and expanding the oil and gas infrastructure in Egypt, incentivize reforms in economic and regulatory framework for energy matters, regulation of oil and liquid products market, and institutional support in creating the new market and developing an oil and gas hub, technical support in a specific area, including logistics, pricing, indexation. Finally, I would like to thank you all for your attendance and patience. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Saleh. Next, we have Mr. S.K. Malik, who's the General Manager of Atak Petroleum.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. At this stage of the day, I have many challenges. My first visit to Egypt, there are challenges and opportunities as well. I am tired, so are you, so we are on one page. I have lost my script at 11th hour, not for first time. It usually happens with me. But again, you will have to bear with me for lesser time because I won't be reading the script. And then asking me to take the podium after General Ishfaq has only added to my challenges, the most eloquent speaker I have encountered. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I'll do is, I'll quickly go over to overview of Atak Group that I am representing here, and then a brief overview of oil industry in Pakistan, and then I'll show you a video footage actually revealing the whole integrated Atak Oil Group, and that will not take very long time because I'll be saving on the spoken script. First of all, thanks to Sasi and Dr. Maria Sultan for successfully organizing this event and making it possible for us to come to Egypt and participate and talk to this August gathering. Okay. Atak Group, ladies and gentlemen, is a 100 years old group that is engaged in all activities related to oil sector, from exploration to refining and to marketing. And having 100 years experience needs no further credibility or credential. Atak Group is a huge group having many companies under the banner and as flashed on the screen, but I'll now focus on Atak Oil group of companies. And basically, Atak Oil group of companies has 2 refineries, 1 exploration company and a marketing company. Exploration company is named as Pak Oil Field, known as POL, and we have 2 refineries. One is Atak Refinery Limited, and then we have a national refinery which is located in Karachi. Atak Refinery is located in Rawalpindi, where our head office, our corporate offices are located near Islamabad. And then we have a marketing company which is Atak Petroleum Limited, commonly known as APL. So now I'll be actually telling you brief about these. First of all, Pak Oil Field, that is POL. It's one of the oldest companies which we have, and a very credible company in exploration since 1950. Is actually carrying out lot of exploration, and they have joint ventures with other companies as well. Then we have our 2 refineries. Our 2 refineries are basically National Refinery and Atak Refinery. These are the 5 refineries which we have in Pakistan. And in these, Atak Refinery, you would say, has a capacity of 53,400. And National Refinery number 2 is 65,000. This is Atak Group, and rest other are the 5 refineries, making total 4,23,400 barrels per day. And I'll explain the opportunities a little later. Coming to location of refineries, these refineries I have already highlighted that Atak Refinery, we are basically Rawalpindi-based group near Islamabad, the capital city. Our corporate offices are located in Rawalpindi, and one of our head office, branch office of the Atak Oil Company is located right in capital Islamabad. Then these are the refineries. Parco Refinery is located mid-country refinery, and then we 3 refinery in the coastal city of Karachi. There are plans for other refineries. I'll come to that a little later. Exploring activities, basically we have 2 blocks, northern block and southern block. In northern block, if you total it up, it comes to around 90,000 barrels per day. Now here is an opportunity. Our demand is 600,000 barrels per day, and we are actually getting 90,000 barrels per day. So opportunity is there. Presently, more than half a dozen companies, national and international companies, are busy in exploration, but that their total effort comes to around 90,000 barrels per day. Okay, countrywide product and market scenario. Total POL products 2016-17, 26.02 metric tons. Production for indigenous crude oil 3.85 million metric ton, that's around 15% total. And balance, which is met through refining crude oil or importing POL products, that comes to around 22.17 million metric ton. So opportunities I have already highlighted as far as exploration is concerned. Refining, the need has been highlighted. As I have told you, we have 5 refineries. Total capacity is 4,23,000, and now our demand is 600,000 barrels per day. So it is felt that there is room for 2 to 3 refineries in the country. And that actually we are looking forward. These opportunities exist, and Atak Group is always willing to exploit and explore these opportunities through joint ventures, collaboration, and joining hands with other partners. Okay. Now I'll show you a video. So I have kept my promise. I have kept it brief, but you will have to bear with me. I have spent a lot of time on this video. You will have to see. As long as Dr. Mari is not here, I think we can take advantage.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malik. We have a final speaker for this panel, Mr. Shehryar Omar, Senior General Manager, Marketing, Pakistan State Oil. Please welcome him.
Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. You know, as the last speaker in the after lunch slot, you know, which is always a challenge, I've reduced my 100-page presentation to just 4 slides, not counting the title slide for the mathematicians out there. I'm briefly just going to talk about some key indicators about Pakistan, key indicators of the oil industry, key indicators about Pakistan State Oil, the company that I represent, and the opportunities that exist in Pakistan. We are the 6th largest country in the world by population. Last year we had a GDP of $320 billion. However, in purchasing power parity terms, it was a $1 trillion GDP. As some people also mentioned earlier in the day, 64% of our population is under 30, so a young working age population, of which we have about 80 million urban residents, which is larger than most European countries. So there is a huge potential in terms of the urban, educated, relatively more affluent population. Very low levels of household debt in Pakistan. The mortgage and car loan and credit card industry hasn't really made much inroads, so there's a lot of free cash available. We're adding about 2 million new vehicles on the road every year, which includes motorbikes, cars, trucks, tractors, trailers. And our current road network is about 265,000 kilometers, to which obviously the CPEC projects will add several thousand kilometers. The petroleum sector last year consumed 26.5 million tons of liquid fuels. We have 5 refineries, some of which you just heard. We processed about 12.5 million tons of crude oil last year. The 5-year growth in the industry is about 6%, but last year we grew by 10%. And the anticipation is that in 10 years' time, this will be a 50 million ton market. We currently have one of the most competitive oil marketing environments in the world, with more than 20 active oil marketing companies operating and several more licenses under process. Also, the fuel mix in Pakistan is changing. We imported and sold over 4 million tons of LNG last year, which is expected to grow by 50% this year to 6 million tons. We have a fairly well-developed transportation network of pipeline, road, and rail, and we already talked about the road network. Coming to Pakistan State Oil, we are the largest commercial organization in Pakistan. Last year we had a revenue of $10 billion. 1.2 billion retail transactions at our 3,500 gas stations across the country. We fuel 50% of all road traffic in Pakistan, 80% of the air traffic, all of the rail traffic, 25% of the power generation, and we handle about 14 million tons of product annually. We're also the largest tax collector for the government of Pakistan. We collected about $3 billion in taxes last year. We have a product storage capacity of 1 million tons, and my colleague here, who's with me here, is heading up an expansion project, adding about 500,000 tons of storage capacity over the next 5 years. It's quite an ambitious plan that we have, and we operate through a transportation fleet of 8,000 tank lorries, and we also transport product through pipeline as well as railways. And then finally, just about the opportunities that exist. There are opportunities everywhere in this industry, in developing ports and related infrastructure, In coastal and inland storage development, there's a plan for an oil city in Gwadar that some people have talked about. There's an opportunity in developing the pipeline systems. There are multiple projects underway where gas pipelines coming in from Turkmenistan and Afghanistan as well as Iran. These are large projects that are at different stages of their development. As earlier mentioned, there are opportunities for new refineries, both coastal as well as inland. In addition to the 5 currently operating, there's another refinery that will be coming online soon, and there's opportunity perhaps for at least 2 or 3 more in the next 10 years. We are developing new energy corridors, Gwadar obviously being the prime one, all the way connecting to China, and then Iran and Central Asia will also open up as a result of that. And of course, there are lots of opportunities in the petrochemical industry as well. I anticipate that in the next 10 years, this particular industry itself can easily absorb $20 to $30 billion in investment across all of these areas. So there's tremendous potential for our Egyptian friends to consider investing in Pakistan. And as Pakistan State Oil, we are always there as an enabler to partner with anybody who wants to come in, and to the mutual benefit of both of our countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for some very interesting facts on exploration, on the oil and gas industry in Pakistan and Egypt. I wonder if there are any questions to the panelists in the audience. Okay. Yes.
You mentioned that LNG is coming in Egypt. I was wondering whether there is more potential.
Yeah, you mentioned in your presentation that Egypt is intending to import more LNG into the country. So I was wondering if there are 2 FSRUs already, and is there any more potential for more FSRUs to come into the country? And how are you going to manage, because you have in the LNG part, again I would extend it, you are also investing in laying pipelines to take the gas to the relevant industrial consumers. So the one question is to whether there would be more, is there any potential for more FSRUs, and how much have you progressed already on the pipelines?
Our expectation is that there will be more potential for gas, and actually this will create a room for having more FSRU. Okay. As you know, we have the recent Zohr discovery made by in the water of the Mediterranean. We are currently running 2 big rounds, one in the offshore Mediterranean and onshore Nile Delta, as well as the Gulf of Suez and the Western Desert of Egypt. These 2 big rounds are handled by the entity I work for, the Egyptian Natural Gas Holding Company, and the other big round is being handled by the Egyptian General Petroleum Corporation. These are 2 entities working under the umbrella of the Ministry of Petroleum. We are leasing more oil blocks for international oil companies to invest and to explore for the oil and gas in these open acreage. For sure, the future drilling activities will secure more potential. As we are, as Egyptian environment, we are offering a high success ratio of approximately 55%. So if we are going to drill, for example, 10 wells, we will have a success ratio of around 5 wells success. So there will be, for sure, And that's why the Minister is adopting the plan for transforming Egypt to an energy hub. And you know, before Zohr we were exporting gas, and now after Zohr, and by the end of this year, we will start exporting gas. I hope that answers all your questions.
Okay, thank you very much. We will conclude this panel. Thank you so much to our guests. Please give me a hand.